So good afternoon. I wanted to get started on talking about the Online Safety Act, and one which I wanted to particularly touch on because it's been alerted to me through a really sad case in my own constituency around access to pro-suicide content online through forums and websites. And I know in April you started your first investigation into one of these pro-suicide forums. I just wondered if you had a particular timeline that you work to with these sorts of investigations, and then more widely, a bit of an overview on the work you're doing to tackle this kind of content and get it taken off out of the realm of people being able to access it, because it really is impacting a worrying number of lives.
Yeah. Yes, there is a particular website, and I think none of us like to give it its name because we don't want to help it to reach its audience, but it's illegal content, a lot of this. It's advocating and assisting and giving people the means to take their own lives, and that's not, that's just simply not legal. It falls squarely against the illegal harms parts of the Online Safety Act. So, as you say, this is our first investigation against a platform, almost immediately after the duties came into force. So what will happen next is that this is where, as Michael was saying, it can get quite difficult for us to predict timelines, I'll be honest with you, because we need to give the other side a chance to respond, and then we need to work out, what and when we will then do to push things further forward. Ultimately, as you know, we have pretty stringent fines that we can levy, but we can also seek through the courts a business disruption order against a platform that we just feel is simply not listening to what we are saying and what the Act says, particularly where the level of harm warrants that. But that's a test that we would expect the court to be very, very, very careful in judging, because of the implications for freedom of expression as well, which just have to be part of the conversation, even if that sometimes feels very, very difficult in cases like this. And I would just add that particular forum has been the subject of a number of coroners' requests of Ofcom, a number of prevention of future death reports, so it's very much at the centre of our thinking and of the coroners' courts as well.
Thank you. And so then sort of widening it out to illegal and harmful content across the board, what progress are you making in terms of ensuring platforms have the processes to address this type of content?
Well, where content is illegal, the codes are now finished. Parliament has approved them. They went live on the 16th of March. And so we expect all of those companies now to be implementing, if they need to, the provisions of the codes. The first step that they had to take was to do a risk assessment, and we asked 60 companies for their risk assessment within a fortnight of that deadline of the 16th of March, and we've been interrogating those assessments over the last few weeks and having some conversations with companies where we think that there are issues. And we've been doing the same when it comes to the need for age assurance for pornography sites, for example, and there we are poised to be taking enforcement action fairly soon against a couple of companies that we are concerned about. So we're on the way on this in doing what the Act requires of us, which is to assess the risk assessments, assess the measures, and then start to take action if we think we need to. And the children's codes, which we published and finalised a fortnight ago now, they are 6 months behind that timescale, but it's exactly the same process.